Okay, welcome everyone to this live Heartshine EFT Sanctuary. This is a place where you can come and get support and be in a safe community of people who are all on the journey of healing from narcissistic abuse. And each time we come in here, we're definitely going to be talking about and tapping on some kind of issue that's related to healing from narcissistic abuse. So to jump in today, I'm going to let you know that we're actually going to be talking today about boundaries, specifically about how and why you would want to come up with a plan for the kind of contact that you're going to have with someone who you believe is a narcissist, a toxic person that you need to change the way you interact with them in order for you to heal. So before I jump in, I'm just going to say welcome everyone that's on. I can see some people are on live, and there's a chat here. You guys can talk with me. I'm just going to talk for a few minutes here first, and you're welcome to say hello to me. And then I'm actually going to ask you some questions, and I'm going to ask you to put your answer in the chat. And then this is something that I'm going to use to help us get started with our group tapping. So why would you want to create some type of plan for changing the way you're in contact with a narcissist in your life? That is a really good question. And there's all sorts of opinions out there. So I just want to preface that this is just my experience and the experience of a lot of other people that I know. And everyone's going to have to decide what's right for them. So definitely do consult. If you have a mental health professional, consult with your mental health professional as well. And just make sure that you feel comfortable with whatever decision that you make. Also, if you feel like for any reason you're in immediate physical danger from someone, if you really feel like you're in physical danger of being physically harmed, you definitely want to take action to get yourself away or call 911 or do something like that if that's something that's coming up for you. Okay. So with that being said, here's a reason why you want to learn to modify your contact with a narcissist. And it really comes down to this, all of you. It's crazy, but believe it or not, people who are healing from narcissistic abuse have an actual chemical addiction to the really negative interactions that you have with this person. It sounds crazy. It's almost like being addicted to a drug. In fact, it's actually something in our body called peptides. And studies show that peptide addiction is actually almost as bad as heroin addiction. I know you don't want to hear that, right? So what I'm going to say is give yourself a freaking break, okay? Give yourself a freaking break because you have a peptide addiction. And I've had a peptide addiction. We all do, okay? So it doesn't mean anything bad about you. I'm not saying you're some kind of addict. But when you think of it like this, you can really wrap your head around it a lot better because you can be like, why am I putting up with this? Or if you know someone else in your life that's putting up with really negative interactions with someone that's abusing them on whatever level, and you're like, why does this person keep going back? Why don't they tell them no? Why don't they stop talking to them? It's because we have a peptide addiction, meaning we literally crave the chemistry that happens in our body when we get that hit, that interaction with that person that is negative. It impacts us, yes, but we are literally craving it in our bodies and we don't even know it. It's crazy, I know. So, and you'll know this if you've already tried to cut your contact with someone and it was so hard you went back. Or, if you think about it and you're like, oh, it's really scary. Another thing that can happen, I'm sorry, you guys, I have to turn my heater off because I'm getting hot because I'm talking to you now. Hang on. It was cold earlier. Another thing that can happen is that, you can decide that you're not going to have contact with someone in your life that's toxic. And then you find yourself having all these imaginary conversations in your mind with this person, right? You think of, well, what they probably would say and what I would say back. And then it's literally like your brain is generating this in order to get the chemistry going again. So I want to bring that up because I want to say that the reason why you do this isn't necessarily because as soon as you do it, like, when the contact's cut off or it's modified, that bam, you're just going to be healed. Okay. Total transparency alert. No, no, no. That's the first step. Because when you do that, it's a lot like, let's go back to the addiction reference. It's like taking all the alcohol out of your house, getting rid of all the bottles, even the ones that are hidden in places. Okay. And it's like, don't even drive by the bar. Don't hang out with people that drink. It's like that. Okay. That part, that's the part that you're in. But once you do that, what has to happen? Then you have to heal and you have to go through the emotional process of once you physically don't want the drink anymore, you will emotionally want it, right? You guys, maybe some of you even have actually experienced this, or you know someone that has. So there's the physical addiction, which is the peptides, the chemistry, and there's the emotional addiction. And they're both very, very strong. So that's what I'm talking about here. So the reason why we do this is because if you find that if you modify contact, let's talk about modified versus no contact. Okay, modified contact means whatever contact you're having with them right now, which I'm assuming if you are, it's just sort of like what it's always been. So you're allowing them access to you. They can call you, they can talk to you, they can email you, they can hit you up on social media. You may see them face to face, whoever it is, it doesn't matter. That's just like regular contact, okay? And if you're here, you know, okay, this isn't working for me. Every time I interact with this person, it stresses me out. I get triggered. I never know when they're going to flip out. I never know how they're going to react. They're unreasonable. One day they're nice, the next day they're attacking me. Or they're always attacking me. Or, it's just, you never know. You're walking on eggshells. You've tried and tried and tried to be reasonable. You've tried everything you can think of. You've tried nonviolent communication. You've tried talking about your feelings. Maybe you've gone to therapy, or you've gone together with this person, or you've gone on your own and your therapist is like, okay, just talk to him like this and, talk about your feelings. And okay, I'm really, really proud of you for doing all that. And believe me, it means you're a person of integrity. It means that you have gone above and beyond to make this relationship work. But guess what? It's still not working no matter what you try, because you are trying to make up for this other person's deficiencies. You're trying to be both people in the relationship, and it's not working. And it's not going to work because you can't apply like normal logic to this relationship. Because this person, if they have this personality disorder, they're not capable of engaging with you in a normal, healthy way. It's not going to happen. It's not possible. And so you get to a point where you realize, I can't keep having the same interactions with this person. It's becoming so toxic. It's getting so stressful that what you need is space, and you need to take your power back. So by setting boundaries around contact, what you're doing is you're sending a message to yourself and this other person that these are my boundaries. You will not cross these boundaries, and I will then be in control. I will then decide when and where my energy is going. And this is part of taking your power back and healing. Because in a narcissistic relationship, it's all based on the fact that you have no control and that this person is extracting the narcissistic supply from you all the time, your energy, your resources, your attention. And you haven't had boundaries before. You didn't think you needed them, and now you do. So putting up this boundary is saying to this person, you can no longer just take energy from me whenever you feel like it. You can't abuse me anymore, right? So modified contact is sometimes you might be in a situation where absolute no contact isn't possible. Maybe it's not possible, or maybe you're just not ready for it yet. And I totally get that. There's no judgment here, because you have to decide what feels safe and right for you right now. Modified contact could be anything from, deciding that you're going to contact someone less, or you're going to be less responsive. You're going to spend less time around them. Perhaps you're going to put something in place where you work with a third party, like in co-parenting. Maybe you will use a third party to communicate about who's going to pick up kids and this kind of thing. But you may still have to actually, see this person when you're dropping off or picking up. So that's like an example of modified contact. Now, in modified contact, you still are going to have some contact with this person. And so you have to decide, is this the kind of situation where I need to take every single precaution I can to not have to interact with this person because I get triggered no matter what? Even if I just see them and don't talk to them, I get triggered and that kind of thing. You're still generating those peptides, that chemical addiction that's keeping you in the trauma bond with the narcissist. So again, it's always really complicated for everyone. It's really different, but that's a scenario for modified contact. Now, a scenario for no contact would be if you're in a situation where you can just literally stop communicating with this person on every level. That would be face to face, on the phone, texting, social media, email, anything that you can think of, any way that this person is going to contact you, you're going to stop contacting them and you're going to block them from contacting you. Why? Because what's going to happen is maybe you stop contacting them and maybe, you take them off your phone or maybe you block them on social media, but you don't bother to go and do it all. Like you don't look at all the ways they can communicate with you. And all of a sudden then, you get an email. They've never emailed you before. And then you get an email and this person's like blasting you. They're very upset and, you get triggered all over again. So one of my teachers that I've worked with for quite a while says that like it's like a drink. It's like being an addict and you have to make sure you didn't save one little bottle, that tiny little travel bottle that you hid somewhere just in case. That's like not blocking every channel of communication you can think of when you're going no contact. Okay. So that's another example of going no contact. So at this point, what I want to do is, boy, I've been just blabbing on and on here for like 13 minutes. I want to ask all of you that are here, go ahead and type this in the chat. If you have a question specifically about contact, or if you want to share what kind of contact that you're wanting to have, what kind of changes that you're wanting to make, go ahead and type it in the chat. And while you're doing that, I'm drinking my tea. I'm going to say that the easy part's talking about it. Oh, yes, I want to do this. Yes, this is what I do. I know I need to do it. I'll feel so much better. I'll be so relieved, when I don't have to talk to this person anymore and it sounds all great. And then you actually think about doing it, like you actually really seriously considering it. And then you're like, oh my God. And it's scary, right? You guys, it's scary because of all the things you're imagining, oh, what if I'm wrong? What if this person really isn't that bad? What if it's me? What if this is too extreme? What if someone finds out that I did this and then, they don't like me anymore? What if I'm hurting this person's feelings? How's it going to affect them? How's this person going to feel? Especially someone you love. Someone you really love. I mean, probably anyone you're in a relationship with like this is someone you care about and love. But it's going to come up. You're going to feel guilt and shame and all sorts of things because it's hard, you guys. It's hard to have to taking these measures. It's ridiculous. Okay. It's ridiculous that you have to do this with someone that you thought cared about you. You thought had your back and you've always had their back and you care about them. You love them so much. And when it comes to this, there's so many painful emotions that come up because you're still processing, right? You're still healing. This is a level of healing. So I just want to tell you right up front, guys, it's not going to be easy, but it's doable. It's doable if you're prepared. Okay. So what I want you to do is think about, what is like the biggest fear that you have? Let's just say and I'm not saying you're going to do it. Okay. I'm not saying you're going to do any of these things I'm saying, but just imagine if you were to do it. If you're listening right now, than you are thinking about it. And I want you to imagine what's like the worst thing you can imagine happening. And just tune into that for a moment, okay? Because we're going to get ready to tap on it. So, whatever that is, and it could be fear of retaliation, it could be fear of losing out, losing something, fear of being wrong about this. What if I'm wrong? What if I'm a bad person? Fear of other family members, someone in your family system shaming you, fear of friends, losing resources. God, I mean, no wonder it's scary, you guys. No wonder it's scary, right? Especially if it's someone in your primary group. You know what your primary group is like: your family, your parents, siblings, um, or spouses, things like primary, well, spouses in primary group, but intimate partners. It's tough. So think about the fear that you have, okay? And I'm not going to say it's going to go away overnight, but just becoming aware of it is really, really powerful. Just becoming aware of it, okay? What we're going to do now is we're going to actually use the Heartshine EFT method to start working with the nervous system, because the nervous system is what gets activated, right? The nervous system gets activated here. We have to work with the body first to work through these fears. Okay, let's see. Tabitha says, having to deal with the interaction of co-parenting with a narcissist is like riding a roller coaster forever. Yeah. I'm afraid that my words or actions will bring negative consequences for my children. Yeah, that's a big one, you guys. Oh my gosh, of course. Because, I mean, first of all, riding a roller coaster, nobody wants to ride a roller coaster forever. That is not fun. That's what it is a lot like. Living with a narcissist is like riding a roller coaster. And at some point you're going to crash, right? It's coming. And then even afterwards, and then when you're co-parenting, you're still on some kind of a roller coaster. So yeah, that's a really good one. So I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to do some group tapping now. And so the fear, whatever's coming up for you, and if it's negative, worried about the negative consequences for your children. So if you're worried that and I'm going to generalize this here, like this action that I'm going to take is going to harm others. Okay, wow, yeah, no wonder that's scary. Like you're worried that me taking care of myself is going to bring harm to someone else that I love, or even that I'm supposed to be caring for. Talk about a head trip, a guilt trip, right? Like talk about shame. Oh my God. So this is what we're going to do. I want everyone to just tap with me on the side of the hand here. Take a deep breath with me. Trying to get comfy in my chair. Okay. Make sure you're comfortable wherever you are and it's quiet. Hopefully you won't be interrupted. If you're driving, do not close your eyes, please. Certainly you wouldn't do that. All right. Even though I'm really worried about the consequences of my actions, even though I'm worried that taking care of myself will harm someone I care about, it puts me in a pretty bad position. Wow. No wonder I'm terrified. No wonder I'm tired. No wonder I'm at my wit's end. I am willing to hold myself in compassion, even though I'm really terrified, to take actions I know I need to take to protect myself, to take care of my needs. And I'm worried this will harm people who are close to me, people who I love. And that feels terrible. So much guilt and shame. I choose to consider that this could shift for me. Even though I know I need to take action, I need to change something I'm doing to protect myself so I can heal. And I'm worried that this is going to bring harm to others. It puts me in a pretty bad position. I feel pretty trapped, actually, and terrified of what could happen. Terrified of the consequences. No wonder it's been so hard. This is so scary. I'm willing to forgive myself for not being able to take action up until now. All right, we're going to tap through the points now. Everyone, just tap along with me. If you've never tapped before, it's okay. Just follow along. You really can't do it wrong. So we're going to start at the top of the head. This is so scary. Eyebrow point. This is too scary. Side of the eye. I am terrified. Under the eye. I am so scared about what could happen. Under the nose. I know I need to do something. On the chin. It's getting so bad. Collarbone. It's almost worse not taking action. Under the arm. It's almost worse to keep going like this. Top of the head. Than to face the consequences. Eyebrow. But I'm still scared. I'm still scared of what could happen. I know I need to change. I know I need to make changes. I feel so stuck right now. Oh, I feel so stuck, like I'm on a roller coaster and I can't get off. And I know it's going to wreck again. I'm going to feel terrible. And I'll wish I'd done something. And this will start all over again. But I'm totally afraid of what could happen. I'm afraid of taking action. And I'm afraid of not taking action. I am really in conflict right here. I am really confused. I'm paralyzed. I'm paralyzed to take action. I feel guilty and ashamed for wanting to take action to protect myself. I'm so scared of the consequences. I'm scared of hurting others. But I also know I really need to do this. Maybe I don't have to make a decision right now. Maybe it's enough to acknowledge this conflict. What if I could let myself off the hook right now? What if I could just imagine what it would be like to feel safe about this decision? I don't have to do anything right now. I don't have to make up my mind about this. But I acknowledge these parts of myself. The part of myself that's terrified. And the part of myself that's brave. Because there is a part of me that's brave. I've done a lot of brave things in my life. And I've done them scared. And this is not any different. So I'm going to let myself have some space around this. I'm going to hold myself in compassion. I'm going to acknowledge my needs and my feelings. I'm going to let myself feel scared. I'm going to let this fear pass. I'm going to stop beating myself up. I might consider stop beating myself up. We're going to go under the arms now. And I release anything and everything that stands in the way of making this decision to modify or go no contact with this toxic narcissist. Top of the head. And no matter what, I deeply and completely love and approve of myself right now, right here. Take a deep breath now. Okay. Roll your shoulders, stretch up if it feels good. Look up with your eyes up to the sky. Okay, now just tuning in again and just noticing how you're feeling now. What came up for you? If any of that language landed for you, and it was like, ooh, yeah, that one. Or even maybe sometimes the cool thing about tapping is that if I throw some language at you and you're like, no, that's not really it. That's good information too. That's really good information. It's like, okay, well, it's not this. This doesn't sound right. Well, what is it instead? And that can help lead you to things you need to become aware of. So what I want to say in closing here, and you can, if you want to ask me questions, I'm opening up Q&A now. Just type them in the chat. Is that when you're making these kinds of decisions, it's really important to honor your process, to honor your fears, to honor yourself. And I got to tell you, I mean, of myself and all the people I've ever known that have been through this, it is not just usually just an easy decision. And sometimes it requires kind of being willing to like modify as you go. So you may come up with plans, okay, I'm going to do this and this and this. And then when you go to try to do it, like it just isn't safe yet. And you may have to back off and say, okay, well, maybe I'll just do this part first. And then I'll see how it goes. And then, it's okay. It's okay because, you can modify it again. You can decide, okay, well, now I know this part doesn't feel safe. So I'm going to tap on this. I'm going to work on this. I'm going to meditate on this until it does feel safe. It's like, just freaking give yourself a break and don't do something until it feels safe. Hey, Tabitha. Oh, you've forgotten about your own courage. Right, don't we? My gosh, we forget. We just throw it out the window and we're already like judging ourselves again for not being like, we're always looking at the lack, right? That's the negativity bias. So yeah, it's really important to think about like growing that positivity bias in your brain. Say, well, you know what? In the past, maybe I would have had this old reaction. So now, now at least I know, I'm doing this for myself that I didn't do before. And this is healing. So, and in the future, I'm going to move towards this, so giving yourself permission to be in that space, and giving yourself permission to even, go back on what you decided. Like, I can't tell you that, if you decide to go no contact, you're not going to slip maybe and break it, or you're going to feel so guilty, you're going to do something you wish you hadn't, or may even end up going back into the relationship because when you did the no contact, it created a new phase of love bombing in the relationship, and you fell for it. You fell for it. It happens. And it's just sometimes it's what you have to go through to really learn. Like, okay, I know for sure without a doubt this isn't working. Like sometimes you have to try and try and try, and you may not be at that point yet, and that's okay. That really is okay. So yeah, it's been about 30 minutes now, and I said I was going to keep this to 30 minutes. So I'm going to just wrap now. I'm going to have everybody who's here. And then if you're watching the recording later, whoever's watching later, just do this with me. We're going to wrap up with some heart coherence. Put your hands on your heart. Take a deep breath. Take a really big breath and then let it out. Just if you want to make some noise, just let out tension. Think about your heart center, or if you'd like to think about your heart chakra, the area here in your chest. And just imagine that you're breathing in and out through your heart center now. You can just feel the energy there. Just drop out of your thinking mind and into the heart center. And I want you to just really know that all the answers are in your heart center. That divine wisdom. You know what to do. You know what's best. You know what's best for everyone in your life. All the people you care about. Think about someone you love now. Someone you love so much that as soon as you think of them, it brings a smile on your lips. And it can be a pet, a person. People are pets. Pets are people, right? Just imagine them in your mind. Just think about how much you love them. Let that feeling grow in your heart. Send a beam of love from your heart to theirs. Good. Just stay with this for a couple more breaths now. Now I'm just going to leave you with a couple affirmations. And if you want to say them out loud or just let my words be your own. I choose now to let it be safe to make this decision about my own healing. I choose to let it be safe to know what's right for me and the people I care about. And I choose to let it be safe to have my feelings, to acknowledge my needs, and all is well in my world. Anchor this feeling into your heart. Let your hands drop into your lap. If your eyes were closed, just bring them back into the room slowly. Keep them soft. Look around the room and just ground yourself with an object that you can focus your eyes on for a moment. Just notice its shape, size, and color. When you're ready, come back to the screen. Stretch up again if you like. That always feels good to me. You guys know if you look up with your eyes, it shifts your brain waves. It's definitely very healthy to do that sometimes when you've been looking at the computer too long. So I want to say thank you to everyone that's joined. I really appreciate it. I hope that you got some benefit today. And I'm happy to see you again. We'll be doing this every month on the last Wednesday of the month. And then also these will be available on my channel after they're recorded. So thanks again for joining, and we'll see you next month. May you be at ease and know joy.